right, Shalom, Shalom, Barakatah Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elder bishops here at Great Millstone. Shalom to you, brothers, that's pushing the work and truth with all sincerity. All right, only expect the worst, okay? Only expect the worst. Because we know, even though things are picking up, there's more things that need to take place. And so, you know, the world is definitely going to be off their rocker, you know, especially with what's going to come next, and it's going to be a surprise. All right, it's going to be a surprise. As the scriptures going to say, it shall be as a thief in the night, and it shows how the troubles on this earth come as birth pains as well. You know, one bad thing after another. You know, and then on the war front, you know, it's picking up, of course, and it seems as though they're getting into things that you know they weren't fully prepared for. I'm speaking on Nero. Okay, it's kind of leaving them stuck in a compromising position. Okay, and for sure the word of the Lord is going to come to pass. The Lord is mustering the host. Isaiah 13. Let me get that really quick. All right, but you can only expect the worst. More things to happen on the soil of Babylon. Isaiah 13:1, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. Right, that banner is this truth. Okay, and that banner is a rallying point. You know, for all to see and all to come near. All right, so that's this truth upon this high mountain, which is this government, the government establishment of Esau. Okay, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand. Right, you know, and we're commanded to what? To tell these nations off, especially Edom, and prophesy of what's to come for him. And this is you know, the Lord has given us the spirit to have a play-by-play sort of understanding of what was going to take place. You know, I don't think nobody kind of counted on Persia. I use the term Persia because the West they used Iran, but we know that those are Elamite, all right, and they believe that they're fighting a war against, you know, Satan himself, all right, which is true, okay, but you know, the Lord ain't with them. I mean, to a certain degree, and He's gonna muster the host, and it's gonna be inevitable. All of those nations, the superpowers, gonna have to get involved some way, somehow. They're gonna have to implement a shutdown here in America, and that's gonna come very soon. All right, it says that they may go into the gates of the nobles. All right, so we're prophesying against this devil as he's on a tirade of, pride, trying to reallocate the world to himself. He's going to realize very shortly, and he has been realizing, that their plans ain't going according to what they thought they would be. Now, that doesn't mean that, um, Persia will be able to overtake them because, the scriptures say, who shall make war with the beast? They have their ways of sabotage, which they might employ, you know, and yeah, that's going to call for other nations to be involved. But here, all in all, the Lord is mustering the host. Okay, here we go. It says, I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. And those are the angels who are essentially, they're the ones that's a big part of this. They're a big helping hand in actually bringing all these nations together, waking up the minds of the kings, and you know, and them, you know, gearing up and getting ready for war. All right. So Isaiah 13 and 4 says, "The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord Yahweh of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle." Now, this is just, the small stages. Um, Essentially, Persia, Elam, they're lashing out at everybody, especially those who are complicit in, helping the West out, you know, and yeah, it's getting worse and worse. The more we watch, it's getting more interesting. So we'll see where it goes. Can't get too excited because we're still waiting on the chip to be mandatory, and they're gonna, pretty much pull out the works for that and generating crises here in this land. All right, and they could be psyops, or it could be, actual enemies. You don't know at this point. All right, but let's see here, and this is the final conclusion of, Babylon, verse 5. It says, "They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord Yahweh in the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land." Because ultimately, when the World War III is in full, swing, that's going to be the end of it, the end of Babylon the Great. But we still, we got a lot to look forward to, um, and you can only expect the worst. All right. So we're talking about any event that is world changing. This war alone is world changing, but it's going to be other events that change the spirit of the world. Okay, just like in 9/11, the spirit of the world changed. I remember I was in the sixth grade. I'll never forget. Seeing that on TV. That was world changing. It changed our world. Okay. Then you had recession. All right. you know, Probably the worst. People losing their homes and stuff like that. But I wouldn't even really put that on the scale. But those are it changed the climate in this Babylon. All right. Yeah, the 2008 market crash. I remember now. Yeah, AIG scandal or something like that. People losing their homes, jobs, and stuff like that. So, and then you had, as of recently, about 7 years ago. All right, almost 7 years, I guess you could say, because it happened in 2019. I remember because I got sick. Um, you had the C-19, all right, thing that exploded. All right, and that event shut the whole world down. And the elite, they got the emergency powers that they needed for future agendas. All right, and those agendas about to be you know, um, in full effect. All right, they're about to be in full effect. Okay. All right, so I want to get straight to the point here because they, it was just a blood moon this morning. Um, I missed it because it was really foggy out, but I got up at 5 in the morning. The Spirit actually woke me up because I said I was going to try to catch it anyway before I go to work. And the Spirit woke me up at like 4:50. I was out of it, but I got up. I managed to get up and go out just to see, and you can feel an eerie vibe, Brother's been feeling an eerie vibe in the air, and you could just we for the longest we've been feeling something's gonna happen, something. We just can't put, of course, can't put our finger on exactly what, you know. But when it happens, we're gonna know that, hey, well, that's what we, this is what we've been looking for, And we're talking. They need an event to take people's mind off of. They need a shutdown. They need to really keep these people in the dark because this, the Lord is having it to where the truth is going out, you know, and they're gonna need to maintain control, and by doing so, they're gonna, flip the switch. All right, they're gonna flip the switch. Okay, whether it's generated, and what I mean by generated, I mean, the alphabet agencies operating and moving and doing things that they normally do all the time to bring about a certain outcome. That the Nero's approval rating is going down. I'm sure it's really low, because he's making really bad decisions. So a crisis is brewing, is overdue, from their probably from their point of view, you know, and all we can do is, as the scriptures say, be circumspect. I'm not getting too hyped, but we're just seeing what's next in the scriptures. The Lord said what? He said, watch therefore and pray. Let's see. Let me get that. Let's see. I like that one too. All right. I want to get the MSG. I've been using that lately. The younger brothers put me on. So, what I read in the KJV, and then I'm gonna jump. It says, "Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour the Lord doth come." And the Lord, all right, it ain't just speaking about his second final coming, because the Lord bring judgment, you know, and he comes that way as well. All right. MSG says the arrival of the Son of Man will take place in times like Noah's. All right. Before the great flood, everyone was carrying on as usual. See? And the Lord needs that's the perfect, you know, the perfect way to attack someone when they least expect it. Okay. And it says, before the great flood, everyone was carrying on as usual, having a good time, right up to the day Noah boarded the ark. They knew nothing until the flood hit and swept everything away. Okay? The Son of Man's arrival will be like that. Two men will be working in the field, one will be taken. Okay? So I really just wanted that one verse, but verse 42, watch therefore, for you know what hour, for you know not what hour your Lord doth come. All right, verse 43. But know this, that if the good man, of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. And how do you watch? The Hebrew word is shamar. All right. Watch therefore, be circumspect. Know what's going on around you. Know what time it is. And Jake, they have a knack for not understanding what times we're living in, and it shows by what spirit they're in, you know. Okay, so Verse 44, therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. All right. See? And these plagues, these scourges, because that's what these are. The things that's about to come upon the earth, these are going to be scourges. All right. Punishments, in other words. All right. Here, I was thinking about something else. Oh, no, no, no. Let me see. Here we go. This is what I wanted. Okay. I know I had to read into it, but this is verse 42. All right. Salaki. You have no idea what day your master will show up, but you do know this. Know you know that if the homeowner had known what time of night the burglar or burglar would have arrived, he would have been there with his dogs to prevent the break-in. Be vigilant just like that. See, you have no idea when the Son of Man is going to show up. Right. So you gotta be like a man that's, ready for an intruder with his dogs at the door ready. You know, that's how important it is because these people are going to be perplexed at the next event. And let me tell you, they ain't pulling out all the stops. And this devil will stop at nothing to do what he needs to do. All right. You see what they do to the children, man. No question about it. And they feel that though it's in their right. And don't be mistaken, they are trying to bring about these prophecies, man. All right, trying to force certain prophecies. All right, in their own right, you know. Let's see here. To pretty much to try to um trying to upset what the Lord has, as if they're gonna trigger some event. And to the most part, the Lord probably he's allowing that, all right, to bring forth certain things. Okay. But let's see here. But they definitely are in, you know, that they satanic prime mode. All right, it's satanic prime mode for them. All right, and they about to do something real ugly, and we can feel it. So Salakia. All right, let's see here. Ephesians 5, of course, 15. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Let me see what it says in the MSG, bro. Why? Because I gotta, right? 5, wake up from your sleep. All right. That's the title of this. Okay. Check this out. This is 11 through 16. It says, don't waste your time on useless work, mere busy work, the barren pursuits. This is Ephesians 5 and 11, Salakia. Pursuits of darkness. Expose those things for the sham that they are. It's a scandal when people waste their lives on things they must do in the darkness where no one will see. Rip the cover off those frauds and see how attractive they look in the light of Hamashiach. Okay, I'm just reading into it. So wake up from your sleep, climb out of your coffins. Hamashiach, meaning the chosen, will show you the light. All right, he will show you the light. Right, and the light, that's the light of truth. When you have an epiphany and the light goes off, right, you can see internally All right. So watch your step. Use your head. Get your head in the game. Right. So watch your step. Use your head. Make the most of every chance you get. And boy, we're in that time, man. You got to break the chain, man, no matter what it is, whatever it is. Whether it's your health, man, break the chain. Pray to the Lord that He help you break the chain. You know, I for one, man, I'm in that. You know, I speak for myself first. Yeah, you got to constantly pray to the Lord that He breaks those chains for you, right? Whatever it may be that's holding you back, that's not getting you to your full potential. All right, and He will break them. All right, He will break them for you. Okay. But you have to trust. I mean, it's not an easy process. You're gonna go through what you need to go, what you have to go through. Okay, um, and just endure it, man. But it says, so watch your step, use your head, make the most of every chance you get. Yeah, because definitely, if time was winding down, this is it. I mean, if there was a time where things are really getting short, we had it. Because I mean, we only drawing closer, so the more we draw closer, the more the time, the less time we have. So I mean, especially with things kicking up, you gotta really understand that. As it says here, these are desperate times. Desperate times. We don't have much time. Okay. Jake think they got time, man. We ain't got much time, man. Okay. Whether it's 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months from now. That ain't a lot of time. Take a whole season for Jake to get their shit right, to get their shit together, man. You know, some things don't happen overnight. Some things do for certain brothers. All right. Certain. All right. So it says, don't live carelessly, unthinkingly. That's the first time I heard that one. Unthinkingly. Make sure you understand what the master wants. Okay. That's important, right? With all this shit going on, excuse my language, with all this going on, you got to know what the master wants, all right? You got to know what he wants. You got to know what he wants out of you. You got to know what his expectations are of his chosen. Also, you got to know what he's about to do, all right? And he's about to unleash unholy hell on the world by way of punishments. Oh man, in fact, it says that. Check this. Yeah. Luke 21:25. It says it will. This is MSG. Okay. It said it will seem like hell, like all hell has broken loose. Sun, moon, stars, earth, sea. Luke 21:25. In an uproar, and everyone all over the world in a panic. Perplexity is the word there. Okay. The wind knocked out of them. The wind knocked out of them by the threat of doom. See? Okay. So people are going to be in a panic, right? They're going to have the wind knocked out of them, right? It's like you've been, you ever got the wind knocked out of you? That don't feel good. But the pressures from this world and the things that's coming upon the world, people are going to be afraid. The powers that be quaking, right? The government's going to be in shambles. You can forget about getting any help or, you know, aid, what have you. You can forget about those government checks, SSI, all of that good stuff, right? Because, that's what's coming. This is what it is. Second Ezra's. And it all sounds like doom and gloom, but the main thing that we're supposed to be worried about is knowing what the Lord wants for us. And that's to be locked in, calling on his name, praying. It says, pray, therefore, It says, watching, therefore pray. All right. So we're praying about salvation. We're praying about destruction. We're cursing those who curse the Lord. Okay. We're asking for spiritual gifts, also spiritual power to protect us in the day, the days of evil. So 2 Ezra 16:18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. That's dealing with the governments. All right. See, what's happening here is that Esau is moving like he has control. But that's the trick. That's the trick. He's moving with such pride until he realizes he really don't have no control. And then he'll get frantic and start doing things to bring the world into more utter chaos, more devastation, more destruction. Okay. It says the beginning of wars. We see one now culminating. Okay. The beginning of famine and great death. Okay. The beginning of wars. Right. And the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Okay. And the plague, the famine, plague, tribulation, and anguish, right? These are the punishments that's coming. Okay. And the scripture says punishing the wicked. Okay. And the scripture say that what the righteous are gonna laugh at their calamities. For amendment, for change, for betterment. Okay, that's what that means. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. See, and people they ain't gonna care, right? They're just gonna be really mad that they can't live, comfortably. And that's what the Lord is about to attack. He's about to get rid of people's comfort, right? Behold, 2 Ezra 16:37, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. Verse 38, as when a woman with child in the ninth month bringeth forth her son with 2 or 3 hours of her birth pain, great pains. This is with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. All right. So there's more worse things than, to be looking out for, to brace yourself for, to pray about, to you know, to kind of prepare yourself by changing your ways, changing your thinking constantly, being renewed in the spirit. In fact, supposed to prep that lesson. What it means to be renewed. We won't kind of go into it. Might even ask chat some things. Just to put be able to put the right words to it. Okay. And this is daily. The only way we're going to change our outlook on this world is if we delve into this book of living waters. Okay. So, sorrow shall come upon it on every side. All my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle. We bring this out all the time, but you really can't bring it out enough because you constantly got to remind yourself of these things. And in those evils, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon earth. All right. So when these evils come, man, you gotta be in the mode. You gotta be in the flight for your life mode and not holding on to the world and there's going to be events where world changing events that's it might require you to relocate the whole communities relocating um, power grid shutoffs you know it's still right you know um, people starving because somehow some uh, generated crisis some crises might happen to where they can't deliver food like that now because the excuse might be sleeper cells. We're at war. We're at war at home, domestic, right? And then they can easily bring about that surveillance. Oh boy, it's close. And it's what's the word for it, man? It's kind of it's beautiful because of course the scriptures, the Lord said it was going to happen, but the way it's about to happen, right? You can see it coming. You can see it coming. You can actually draw up scenarios in your mind, and you can actually see this thing playing out a certain type of way, and we do, you know, we do for the most part. We don't know exactly precisely what's going to happen, but hey, you should be thinking about the different scenarios what could take place that could be life changing or world changing events. You know, let's see what else we have here. Second Ezra 5:1. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, the signs, the prophecies. Behold, see, and we just seen a token today. We're seeing tokens every day. Uproars of the people. All right, wars and rumors of wars. Okay, and whether or not we're in World War III, is kicking up. Right, we're getting close. Right, when we really close when they implement. All right, that Insurrection Act, martial law, um, detaining people, uh, economic crash, because that's oh boy, with the Strait of Hormuz being shut down, oh, the world is gonna feel the weight of that. The world is gonna feel the weight of that too, you know. And all these plagues are coming upon the world, right? And what's coming to Babylon, man? All right, it's gonna be far greater. Okay, it's gonna be far greater because of the pride and how these people been living and how things have been broken up, you know. So Salaki says, nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden. And this is close, and the land shall be barren of faith. This is really close. Okay. But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. Okay. And for his time, yet the wickedness did increase, and it's continuing to. I mean, it's the world has been, you know, seduced by wickedness. All right, and you're gonna see more evils. You're gonna see more evils. Things that we haven't seen for our time. So let's see here. Hmm. I think this is it. I mean, I pretty much just went in the spirit, man. Had only a few precepts. But Lord willing, this was edifying. You can only expect more um, evils, man. You can only expect the worst. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.